Hi, Happy New Year everyone. I hope 2025 starting off okay. It's okay here. Nothing bad's happened yet. Oh, that's not true. My stencil printer stopped working. Well, the uplight that it uses to find the little fiducials on the stencils, the lighting board died. So that wasn't great. No, that happened actually in the middle of a production run. So that was last week. So I pulled the whole thing apart. Turned out it was just a dead LED on the board of 12 LEDs, but they're all in series, and PWMs them all in series, and so one LED dies and they all die. So, well, it wasn't dead, it was flickering. Anyway, managed to find some LEDs at JCar, the correct type, and I only had 2 left, so thankfully they were the right ones. Fixed the board, replaced the LED, put it back in, realised after I got it all back together again and went to continue on that when I put it back in, there's one set of lights facing down and one facing up. The one down is to recognise the PCB fiducial, the one up is to recognise the stencil, because the camera is a two-way camera, so it's looking down and up at the same time, like this. I put them back to front, which meant when the top one came on to light, to look at the stencil, it was lighting the bottom. So I had to pull it all apart again, flip them over, and anyway, it's all working. I've been using it since, and yes. So other than that though, it's been okay. The world's gone to shit, but things here have been okay. I did my first production run of my 1.3 inch, oh, almost dropped it, screen. This one's a bad one. I stuck it on a slight angle, a bit hard to tell. And so you can't quite fit a screw in, and I can't really unstick it. I'm using the 3M double-sided tape. Boy, does it stick. So can't really sell that one. But I made a whole bunch, I think 40 something of them, and they're all packaged and ready to go, and I'm just working on the stuff for the store. I haven't taken photos yet, that's why these are out, so I can take a front and a back. I should have left some out before I package them, doesn't matter. And I just finished working on the pinout card for it. I'm not shipping pinout cards in the bags for my shields anymore. It's a waste of money and waste of paper. So just the digital ones. And if I need to make a change, then it's easier on the digital, and I don't want to have to reprint cards. So they are done. They'll be in my store shortly. I got my panels for my Omni controller board today. They arrived with a stencil. Came in one package. Yay! I haven't actually opened it yet. I want to. I don't want to. Hang on, the scissors. Okay. I'm going to do the scissors, not the knife, because I don't want to cut my desk. I haven't even checked them. I checked the stencil, that's good. Often JLC will forget to put my half-etched fiducials on, but they remembered. Since I'm getting to see this for the first time with you. Of course they're purple. Yay! Look at that. Nice. So I did them 4 up. So the only change I made on this from my previous one that I made on on the stream not my last stream, but on the stream that I did, whatever I'm waffling, is that I added the other 6 axes IMU, the BMI 270. So there's 9 axes now. So 9 axes will allow me to better calibrate the IMU, the gyroscope. Gyroscope. Magnetometer. Okay, now it's turning into a bad year. So the magnetometer, I can calibrate without the other 6 axes, but then everything has to be perfectly flat, and it won't work if there's any tilt. The 9 axes allows me to do tilt compensation. So I figured having 9 axes on this board might be useful to people. Might be useful to me as well. So that's the only change I made, and it was a pretty simple change. I mean, it's just plonking down an I2C IC and a couple of passives. Hopefully I got the orientation right of it though, because they all need to be the same. So anyway, I'm going to assemble those, but not yet. I've got news about that, but I will get to that in a moment. So that's pretty cool. They arrived. The other thing that arrived today, including lots and lots and lots of components, all sorts of components, and I just put another order in today for a whole bunch of new components that I've never used before. But I have got my, these are prototypes, but technically I can put them in the store if they work. My RMP K-type add-on board and my RMP BME 280 add-on board. So the idea with these are, theoretically, if I actually get them working and I find it useful, the K-type thermocouple one technically would mean that I can add support for a third thermocouple on the ReflowMaster Pro. It plugs into the Stemma QT port on the ReflowMaster. See, every ReflowMaster Pro I've ever shipped has got a Stemma QT port just there. And the plan was to always do stuff with it, and I never did. So now I am. So with the K-type probe, it's not an I2C device. It's just a clock and data in, master in. So you can't chain an I2C device with using this, but this would plug into that, and then you'd be able to connect a thermocouple to it. The other one is the BME 280, which is a temperature and humidity sensor. And my thoughts with that is, as a temperature sensor, it's not really overly useful unless you're just measuring the temperature in your environment. Obviously, it won't be able to go into the oven if you're reflowing. But the humidity sensor is interesting because this is an I2C device, so this again would plug into that. There's no pass-through on purpose because you only have one device plugged into it. I'm not doing multiple devices. But I thought that for people that are baking or doing lower temperature stuff that need to track humidity, like CNC Kitchen did, then you could stick a humidity and temperature sensor in the oven while you're baking, and I'll obviously have support on the screen that'll show you the humidity during the bake. So if you're doing things like baking filament and stuff, I think that might be useful. And I might come up with some other ideas as well, but I thought it was about time I utilised that port. And like my fan controllers, although these boards are slightly narrower, well, as in height-wise, but like my fan controller, they're all kind of the same thing, same shape, same family of stuff. So I'm excited to try these, and then I have to write code for them. That's okay. The code should be fairly simple. So you just choose what device it is that you're plugging in. And the thing is, with the BME 280, you don't have to use this board. You can just grab another BME 280 board if you've got one from Adafruit or SparkFun or Core Electronics, and that'll work as well, as long as it's a BME 280. Although I could see dress stuff, I'll have to work that out. When it comes to other temperature sensors, I'm not going to support anything straight away, but if there's another temp humidity sensor that people like or prefer to use instead, then I could always have support for that as well. I just have to get my hands on one. So that's pretty cool. On my Discord server yesterday, I teased a new board I'm working on. It's got a whole bunch of parts that I haven't used before. It's an SP32 board, an S3 board, not a development board. And it's got a big whopping connector on it. The connectors arrived today. Even though I haven't finished the board yet. But they're the connectors, really wide connectors. And I'm looking forward to showing you that. So if you want to know more about that, in the Discord, in the supporters channel. I haven't mentioned what it is. It's a tease, but it's going to be pretty cool. If it works, it's going to be pretty cool. What else can I tell you? probably not much else. Again, I mentioned in supporters channel on Discord, I made a new revision of my Tiny S3 before the end of last year. Basically, exactly the same board. I didn't end up changing the pin out on the headers or changing the number of pins on the headers, so that way I don't break any backward compatibility. But I did change the battery charge IC. Technically, you can do faster charging now, although I'm still probably going to set it to the same as previously. But I also added a fuel gauge, I2C fuel gauge on that board. And then over the weekend, I also updated the Feather S3 as well. So they're both done. I still have to do the Pro S3. I do have a new version of my Tiny Pico that uses the new Johansson antenna, because I'm going to run out of the old antennas soon. Right now, the Tiny Pico and the Tiny Pico Nano are the only products still using the old antenna, except my new version of my Reflow Master Pro that has the bare silicon. I am also using the old Ignian antenna, but I don't sell that many Reflow Master Pros that it's going to make that much of a difference. I've got maybe 2,500 of them left or so. But I've got a new version of Tiny Pico that has the new antenna, so I can move to it. It also drops the APA 102 and uses the same 1515 NeoPixel, so that's a pretty breaking change, because the people that are using the helper library for the APA, that won't work anymore. It'll have to be the helper library with the NeoPixel. But I want to move away from the APA. It's less components I need to place on the board. It's one less position on my feeder I have to use, and I'm running low on them. I don't want to buy another reel of 4,000 of them. Yeah, so, but that version of the board doesn't have the I2C fuel gauge on it, because there's no room for it, but I might see if I can somehow squeeze it in. The plan is to come up with an updated version of all my boards. So that's what I'm working on at the moment. Kind of give them a bit of a refresh. My plan was to change the pin out on them, to change the, not the number of pins on the headers, but I'm talking about my S3 boards, but to change them so I could move to a version with the PS RAM inside the chip, inside the ESP32 S3. The problem is with doing that using the ESP32 S3-R8 for the 8 meg PS RAM is its octal PS RAM, so it requires 5 extra pins, and unfortunately 4 of those pins I'm using on my boards. Can't do that. So to go to the R8, I would have had to reroute different I/O for those I/O that I'm using. On the Pro S3, I'm using all 5 of them. On the Tiny Pico, I'm using 4. On the Feather S3, I'm using 3, maybe 4. So I would have had to reroute and change the I/O on the headers, which would have made CircuitPython, MicroPython, I've mentioned this before, and even Arduino compatibility a problem. I'd have to ship new sets of all of those different builds and whatever else because of the pin changes. I decided against it. I've already ordered new PS RAM. I was out of PS RAM, which is why I was looking at doing it now. It would have saved me having to buy a PS RAM separately, but I changed my mind. I'm not doing it. I've ordered PS RAM. I thought it was too big a change, and it would have just given me a customer service nightmare to do it. So I decided against it. But I'm still refreshing the boards and putting fuel gauges on them. Although I probably don't have enough fuel gauges. I've only got about 1,000 of them, and I use them on other things. The OMG S3's already got the fuel gauge on it, so I might have to respin my Tiny C6. I don't know. Anyway, lots of choices, but I'm getting them done. Yeah, that's about it. Now, onto the when am I going to build those boards? Yaz has organised an impromptu getaway for the family. So I'm only working today and tomorrow this week. I was going to stream on Wednesday. I still may, but I don't know because we're going Wednesday. We're driving distance, right? We're not going overseas or anything. We're going to a place called Geelong, which is only about 45 minutes away from where we are, but we're staying in a hotel right on the beach, and there's a swimming pool, and there's an adventure park there for the kids. And so 4 days, I'm taking 4 days off work. Oh my God, the place is going to like fall apart without me for 4 days. 4 days from work, and I will get no relaxation for the 4 days because Flynn's going to be go, 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 go. But anyway, that's what we're doing. So I wanted to get a video in today just to let you know I'm going to be gone for the rest of the week and to let you know what's been happening. Okay, that's it. Anyway, as I said, I hope you all had a good New Year's. I hope everyone's 2025 is awesome, and I will speak to you all next week, I guess. I'll either come back very relaxed or very stressed. I don't know. Okay, bye everyone. Cheers.